Hi, my name is Brian, and this video is a follow-up to my DIY sump series, or DIY acrylic tank series. I built this sump myself, and so I want to talk a little bit about it. I'd seen some comments that you guys had posted that you were interested in seeing this running. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I wanted to show that the system is completely set up. I'll show the other side of it, and I'll show what's down here a little bit later in this video. If you have questions about how to construct this, please take a look at my other videos that are posted to YouTube. I go through the steps on what tools you need, what methods you should use to assemble it, what order you should assemble it, how to jig it, how the pin method works, what glues to use, and a whole host of other things. If you post those questions to this video, I'm not even going to respond, because I do have other videos that total about an hour and a half on how to do this. So, first thing that happens is my water is coming up through this pipe from my tank. My zero head level is up at about here. The water then, there's a tap here that will eventually be for my skimmer, and then there is a drain for everything else. The water comes through here and goes into a mesh filter, and then it goes down. This area is actually for the mesh filter to hang down. The bubbles keep pulling it up, so it's just the way it is. It then goes through a hole here, goes through some rock rubble. Not all of the rock rubble is in place. Here, let me move the camera, and you'll get a better view of what I'm talking about. There you go. So you can see the water comes up through the rock rubble. This is a bypass valve, so this drops down through here, and there's a valve underneath here that allows me to adjust how much water goes through here. And the purpose of this is to regulate how much water goes through my refugium. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I've taken a overflow design that's commonly called a bean animal, and I've done some things that I think improve it. So I use 2 primary overflow drains plus a 3rd backup. And right now I have it adjusted so that the backup drips constantly, and that allows the water not to get stale that's in there. So this is my refugium. Underneath here is the actual return sump. Again, let me move the... Okay, so in this area I'll eventually have a deep sand bed of about 4 inches, and then I'll have algae, macroalgae that grows here. I have a digital aquatics reef keeper system, but they have not been able to produce a salt probe or salinity probe since I've owned it, so I have an inexpensive specific gravity meter. I'm using an inexpensive roof type drain from Home Depot to limit anything from going down into my sump. On this side you have a source and a return for this pump, which goes to a chiller that's mounted outside. And you've got a location up here for probes, and then I'll show this in just a moment. Up here is where I've chosen to mount all of my controls and system probe modules for my Digital Aquatics Reef Keeper Elite system. This keeps them above the water. They're less likely to get wet. You don't need a drip loop when the water is below the cord. You also can see some of my reverse osmosis system that I use to supply makeup water and pure water to my tank. Down here is my 55-gallon barrel that I have cut the top off of. There's a video on how to cut the top off of it, and I'm using uniseals to interface with the barrel. There are again videos on how to insert pipe into uniseals and how these things work. This is my pickup for my pump. I've got a cutoff so that I can do maintenance on my pump. I have 2 submersible heaters in here, and this also has an automatic top off or a float valve that replaces it with deionized water as evaporation occurs. Helps keep my tank really stable. And down here is my Reflow Dart Snapper hybrid pump. This pump draws 100 watts and circulates about 1,500 gallons per hour. It goes up. There's another union here so I can do maintenance on the pump if I need to. There's a valve to cut this off, and then there's a one-way flow valve so that if something ever happens, my tank does not drain back into my sump. And here you see the return line from the tank coming by and going behind my sump. I also have a drip loop here for my heaters, and one of my next projects is going to be to work on the makeup system so that I have pumps and valves to route my makeup water and I'm not moving it by hand.